Hello and welcome to Number by Color. My name is Todd, and today we are diving back into nostalgia with the recently released Kaze and the Wild Masks. I talked about this game in my video about how PlayStation doesn't want me to buy games, so you better believe I was serious when I said I was interested in playing it. And I gotta say, I loved it. Somehow this game was everything I needed right now, and it's basically just a platformer. But the audio and visuals and overall presentation come together to be both familiar and new at the same time. Much like The Messenger or Cyber Shadow, Kaze and the Wild Masks blends old and new, and I loved every minute of it. Well, I guess I just basically gave away my whole review, but if you're interested to know why I loved it so much, let's get into it. Kaze and the Wild Masks was developed by Pixel Hive, an indie studio based in Brazil, and published by Sodesco on March 26, 2021. I played the PlayStation version, but you can also find the game on the Nintendo Switch, Xbox, Steam, and Stadia. I also think this is Pixel Hive's first game, which is pretty cool since they seem to have a good sense of how to make an engaging game. Almost immediately, the title screen and its music alone were enough to transport me back to my younger years, playing platforming games like Sonic, Super Mario World, and Donkey Kong Country with my sisters and friends. Games like those hold a special place in my heart, so when I come across a competent platformer, I get pretty excited. When the game starts, there is a brief cinematic that gives context for who Kaze is and what the game is about. As far as I can tell, Kaze and her brother Hogo are exploring one day when they discover a magical ring. When trying to take it, they cause evil creatures to be set loose on the world, and Hogo suddenly becomes trapped inside the ring. Kaze then takes it upon herself to defeat these evil villains and free her brother. Kaze and the Wild Masks really is inspired by games like Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country, and that inspiration is apparent right away. The game is split into multiple islands, and each island has 6 or 7 stages that are played one after another. One of the things that makes this game so enjoyable for me is that each level is its own entity, and that every level has the same 3 primary objectives: collect 100 red gems, complete the 2 hidden bonus stages, and collect the 4 letters that spell Kaze. Like with so many other platformers, these 3 simple tasks offer just the right amount of challenge in each level, and if a particularly difficult level is making you frustrated, you can just move on to the next and try again. The game also does a really good job at not presenting the same kinds of levels and challenges back to back, so even if you are playing a stage that feels similar to something you've already played, it will at least not have been one of the more recently completed stages. So, like I mentioned, apart from simply reaching the end of a level, there are 3 main objectives to be completed within each level. Collecting all 4 letters will unlock a piece of art on a scroll, which provides a visual backstory to the world of Kaze and the Crystal Islands. Completing the 2 bonus stages in each level gets you a green gem, and collecting all the green gems on an island unlocks a bonus level. And collecting 100 red gems in a level is the only way Kaze can break the curse of the ring. One thing I haven't mentioned until now, which seems crazy, especially because I've said the name of the game so many times already, is the titular masks. Every so often, you'll play a stage wherein Kaze will find a mask that gives her special abilities. Each mask is very different, and the stages that use them are often more challenging, which is good because it means that the masks change the gameplay enough to make you have to think about how to use them. The shark mask allows you to swim underwater, the bird mask allows you to fly, the tiger mask allows you to climb walls, and the lizard mask makes Kaze run automatically, meaning that you can basically only jump to avoid obstacles when she's wearing it. In addition to that, every level also has a time trial mode, and if you want an even harder challenge, you can try to get through each level without getting hit or dying, which unlocks a special icon next to the other objectives. So it's safe to say that this game offers a lot of replayability. Overall, the gameplay is pretty straightforward and easy to understand, but the game offers a good level of challenge in trying to complete all the objectives for each level. I found myself dying many times while trying to 100% every level, but I never really got frustrated in a way that made me want to stop playing the game. It might not be as difficult as Crash Bandicoot or Donkey Kong Country, but that's a good thing, because I always wanted to keep playing, even if a particular level was giving me a hard time. From a visual perspective, this game is a joy to look at. From Kaze's character design and animation, to the creepy vegetable enemy designs, to the varying level locales, it's clear that a lot of love went into crafting the visual aesthetic of this game. I love the small details of how Kaze holds herself back when she nears a ledge, or how all the enemies turn into regular vegetables when you defeat them, or how Kaze traverses cables with her ears, or how she glides by spinning her ears. All the animation is fluid and well done. If I did have to knock it for something, I would say that the character drawings in some of the cinematic scenes aren't always on the same level as the pixel art, but even so, it's not enough to dock points from the otherwise flawlessly executed visuals. As I mentioned earlier, the title screen music immediately caught my ears, and the whole soundtrack was a similarly enjoyable blend of familiar and new. One thing I found particularly cool was that each island had its own unique version of the same overworld music. They all had a common melody and rhythm, but the characteristics of the island dictated the feel of the music, whether it had more reverb and sparsity for the snowy island, or whether it was more ominous and eerie for the island with lava and poison in its levels. This attention to detail and thoughtfulness elevates the quality, in my opinion. The trophy list in Kaze and the Wild Masks probably won't surprise you, but you may still not be happy about it. You'll get most of the trophies from playing the game normally, though there are a few trophies that will give you grief. For example, you'll need to get 100% in every level, complete every time trial, finish the game in 2 hours, etc., etc. The one trophy that will likely cause the most headache, though, is beating every level without getting hit. This is one game that I'll likely not even try for the platinum, but don't let that deter you from enjoying getting the other trophies. The platformer genre can be hit or miss. There has to be a particular balance of interesting ideas and challenging, thoughtful gameplay to keep me invested. Games like Super Mario World and Donkey Kong Country are masterful in that area, and in more recent years, Rayman Origins and Legends have become a gold standard in what a platformer can be. While it doesn't necessarily have the big budget polish as those other games, Kaze and the Wild Masks definitely holds its own against them, in my opinion. I was hooked from the beginning, and anytime I wasn't playing, I was thinking about playing. That to me is a sign that the game is doing something right. This year has been unexpectedly indie focused for me, and now that I think of it, almost every game I've reviewed so far has been a platformer. I certainly didn't plan it that way, but I am definitely not complaining. Of course, I will be reviewing games of other genres. I guess I just happen to have a lot of these in my backlog. In any case, I highly recommend Kaze and the Wild Masks to anyone who is a fan of the platformer genre, and especially if you grew up playing these kinds of games on the Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis. I think you'll get a nice smack of nostalgia from this. But as always, I must continue on to the next game. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you liked the video, subscribe if you want to see more from me, and until next time, keep that nostalgia alive, my friends, and play some games.